played once, Sam. For all time's sake.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Tim from the power couple, Kevin and Tim, for the Play It Back show, where we sit around and Monday morning quarterback some of our favorite campaigns from over the years. The campaigns that exemplify what advertising is and what advertising can be. Now, great advertising aims to tell a good story. They want ads to be cogent, understandable, and bring you into the brand's world. Now, if that brand just happens to be arguably toxic and intentionally exclusive, then that brand must be Abercrombie and Fitch. Now, I could sit here and tell you about how currently one of the most hated brands in brick and mortar retailers is seeing a dramatic rise and return to fiscal gain, and how inclusion and catering into an older demographic with more quality clothes that last longer has seen them ditch the old shackles of that famous "we don't make clothes for ugly people" quote, but that shit is boring. And I did this show so I could talk about my favorite marketing campaigns. So now, submitted for the approval of the Play It Back show and the Midnight Society, I give to you the tale of Abercrombie and Fitch. The campaign I'm highlighting is the overall brand integration and positioning of Abercrombie & Fitch when it was bought by the Limited Brands, specifically when Michael Jeffries took over as CEO in 1992. He decided to pivot the brand to a teenage market while taking the brand back to its roots of 1892, which even back then was an overall sense of,
because here at Globo Gym, we're better than you, and we know it.
Abercrombie & Fitch was started by David T. Abercrombie and Ezra Fitch as a sporting goods store in 1892. And I wish I could tell you I had to look that up, but unfortunately for 4 years, I was one of them. Now, before you get out the pitchforks, just let you know, I started off as a hater, just like most people. Their clothes are too small. They're just for preppy rich kids. They spray so much cologne that it gives you a headache in the stores. And first off, that cologne is called Fierce, and it's all by design. It's hard to believe, but there was a time when A&F reigned supreme, when its stock towered over other brick and mortar retailers at $85 a share. That would be $118 adjusted for inflation in today's money. A time when puka shells, cargo shorts, those visors tilted to the right ruled the landscape, and Dawson's Creek played every morning before I went to school. Now, I can't lie to you. I am fascinated by this campaign, by its attention to mastering a specific targeted demographic in an almost social psychological way. One of CEO Michael Jeffries' first moves was to put an emphasis on the brand that he says was built now for the good-looking and cool kids. And he targeted this specific, hard to identify demographic by making every form of the brand consumer interaction a form of marketing to specifically them. But one of the biggest hurdles you run into in a pre-social media world back in the 1990s is, how do you get your clothes on the good-looking cool kids in each market? Well, you hire them.
I really hate that man.
This doesn't seem groundbreaking in 2022, where we have Fashion Novas and Pretty Little Things that know if you put good-looking people in their clothes, it will make people want to buy them. But how do you target good-looking people in 1990? You got to get your hands a little dirty. You got to eliminate women's sizes over 10. You got to get rid of all sizes for men over XXL and make all shirts athletic cut, meaning that they're V-tapered, meaning that they're actually a size smaller that you put them in. So if you wore an XL in Abercrombie and Fitch, you probably wore a XXL in anything else. Here's something that you analytics nerds will probably like a lot, but also probably hate a lot too. The company delved deep into local demographic research in a 10-mile radius around each store, and they attempted to have the diversity percentage reflected in each store. So there was a quota system where you would actually go out and try to find a specific race and a good-looking person in that specific race. That's like something that would be on manager calls. You literally, like, you'd have a DM or an RM be like, yo, I'm looking at your numbers. You guys need more hot Asians in the store. Yeah, it was a wild job. I liked it. You're probably saying that already sounds a little discriminatory to me, Tim. First off, are you a narc? Remember, you need to tell me if you're a cop or it's entrapment. And also no kissing on the mouth. A lot of you still have your I want to sue hats on. But what A&F also did was classify each front of house employee as a model. Therefore, they had legal grounds to discriminate and only hire people based on appearance. Abercrombie also had one of my favorite moves that corporations rarely have the balls to carry out anymore, and it's what I call the lean in. With the emphasis on young pretty people, the company was becoming inundated with accusations and little online think pieces that they were selling sex. Now, instead of a sharp repudiation of this, the marketing team sat around and thought, hey, we should totally do that. A&F Quarterly dropped in 1997, and the magazine, you could say in some of the pictures Bruce Weber took, they advertised clothes. No, you couldn't say that. Well, but you could say that there were clothes in some of the pictures that he took. It really didn't matter to me, though. I was reading it for the articles. Now let's get back to the models that worked in the Abercrombie and Fitch stores. A lot of them were featured in the marketing, so it was a way to get off some of that heat that why they only hired pretty people. They could actually classify them as models because they used them in marketing, and actually in a pre-Insta age, some of your favorite actors and models and singers got their jump starts working for Abercrombie and Fitch, whether it be Channing Tatum, Olivia Wilde, Jennifer Lawrence almost made the cut one time. She has a funny story about it on Seth Meyers. That's just a free tidbit. Now, hey, the good times couldn't last forever. And you could argue without evolving the brand's methodology and the overextension of its growth potential with way too many stores, that's what started the steep decline in 2006. But you could also argue it's because they didn't stick to their guns. Now, I'm going to read you a comment that Michael Jeffries said, the CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch at this time, which really started the downfall of the brand. Now, tell me if you see anything wrong here. I don't. Maybe it's because I'm evil. Jeffries said, that's why we hire good-looking people, because they attract other good-looking people. And we want to market to cool, good-looking people. We don't market to anyone other than that. In effect, he said the quiet part out loud, and due to the backlash, A&F, during a company-wide initiative, started selling larger clothes. Now, I'm not going to draw a straight line to them relenting on their company's positioning, to them closing 137 stores in 2020. I'll leave that up to you to decide, but seems weird. Like I said in the beginning of this video, if you look into it now, Abercrombie and Fitch is seeing a big resurgence behind Hollister, one of their secondary brands. They're touchy-feelier, they're inclusive, yada, yada, yada. But that's not my favorite thing. This was my favorite time for Abercrombie and Fitch. I love the exclusion of others, I guess. I'm sorry. Thanks for watching. If you want to see any other campaigns, or if there are any of your favorite campaigns, let us know, contact us, hit us up on Twitter, or the Instagram that we're starting pretty soon. We're totally going to do it. I'm all over it. Thanks for watching.